Hi Year 6, thanks for your hard work in the lesson with me today. You were all much more confident at solving equations and showing your setting out really clearly for me, and you were also better at dealing with negative numbers if they came up in equations. Some of you still weren't feeling 100% confident at solving equations which involved brackets, so that's why I've made you this video to help you with that. So, if you had an equation which was 5 and then in brackets a minus 7 equals 35. The first step is to expand the brackets, and to expand the brackets you need to multiply what's outside of the brackets, that's 5, by both terms which are inside. So 5 times a is 5a, and 5 times minus 7 is minus 35, and that equals 35. And now you've got an equation which looks like the type of equation you've seen before which you can solve. And remember, we're trying to isolate a onto the left hand side of the equation. Okay, so first step is to add 35 to both sides, so that on the left hand side of the equation we're just left with 5a, because minus 35 add 35 would be 0. And then 35 add 35 is 70. And the next step is to divide by 5 to find a. Okay, so how many 5s go into 70? Well, I know that 7 10s would go into 70, so it's going to be double that, so it'll be 14. And that's that equation solved. Okay, we'll have a look at one more example for you. So if you had 2 and then in brackets 3s plus 2 equals 34. Okay, so the first step again is to expand the brackets. So 2 times 3s gives us 6s, and 2 times 2 gives 4, so 6s add 4 equals 34. This time, again, I'm going to try and isolate the s onto the left-hand side of the equation. So, to do that, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, so that I'm just left on the left-hand side with 6s, and that equals 34 minus 4, which is 30, and then I'll divide both sides by 6, so s is equal to 5. Okay? Now, multiple brackets can appear in an equation, so you might be faced with something like this. So 3, and then in brackets 2x plus 4 equals 2x plus 14. And if you see something like this, I don't want you to get scared by it or get worried by it. You're just going to follow exactly the same steps, and you're going to expand both sides of brackets. So 3 times 2x gives 6x, and 3 times 4 gives a positive 12, and that equals 2 times x, which is 2x, and then 2 times 14, which gives us positive 28. No negatives this time, so it's a bit more straightforward. And from there you've seen this kind of equation, and we're going to try and isolate x onto the left-hand side. So the first step could be, let's put those x's over on the left-hand side, so I'll take away 2x. So I'm left with 4x plus 12 equals 28. And now it's quite straightforward. I can subtract 12 from both sides. So I end up with 4x equals 28 subtract 12, so 28 take 10 is 18, and take 2 more leaves me with 16. And the last step then, if 4x is 16, I can divide by 4 to find x, so x equals 4. Okay, I hope that helps. I've set you some tasks on My Maths, so what I want you to do now is have a go at the activity, your homework activity on My Maths, which is to do with equations and brackets. And have a good weekend. I'll see you next week.